Okay. It's my round again. So we heard a lot of things, and I'm very glad that you are so curious about this. This is a really big change in the way of thinking of the lawyer, of the judge. And it was also to me. And it's, of course, it's not easy, but it is obvious that is something what can help a lot, not just to us, but to everybody, especially our parties. You know that we like to use the pattern or repeating the same practice when it seems to work. And there is kind of expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So from our side or from our view of point as judges, we usually don't see anything wrong with our approach, because we did it and we are doing that all the time the same. And we didn't ask ourselves, is there anything wrong with our approach? And could we do something differently? Could we do something better? And why? I found only one judge so far with whom we work like this. My colleague from Croatia, she said at the first day, I am on the wrong position. I don't know why I'm here. I don't want to change anything. I don't see any problem with me. But she came again another day of the training. So, only difference between us and you, from my point of view, maybe I'm wrong, is because we was exposed to the idea earlier than you. So, all of us are judges, all of us are like our job, but as I asked you at the beginning, or maybe I didn't, all of us know very well that something is wrong and that we are not happy, or that we are very rarely happy with what we are doing. Because of the traditional way of doing things, nobody is happy with us, no matter how excellent our work is, or how excellent is our decisions are. Only what we have, only what we get for someone prize or tap on the back from the upper court judges. You are good. Or maybe of some lawyers. You are good. And it's a good feeling to get a good grades from our peers. But we are working for the parties, for the society, for the public, and they don't like us, and we need to do something. I think we need to do something to change that, because they don't understand us, and actually we don't understand them. And that's the right time to change that. I would like to show just a few seconds of the video from YouTube, TED Talk. Judge Victoria Pratt, please, all of you who speaks English well, watch this video at home, 20 minutes, and she is a criminal judge, and how she is acting in her courtroom with the ordinary people. it's just, it will just for the beginning that you can forget. TED Talks.
Judge, I want to tell you something.
And Judge Victoria Pratt. And that's all for now.
You treat every...
So, another thing. I told you something yesterday about puzzle justice. And Arthur said us something about puzzles. So, look at on this first image. I compare these puzzles with the facts and the proofs lawyers and parties bringing to us. And they are bringing them and putting on our table, on our bench. And our task is to collect them, to make some order, and to find the truth and maybe justice, very rarely. So I don't know what is your law, procedure law, but in Croatia, we as judges, we cannot order to the parties and the lawyers anything. We cannot ask, give me the proof, give me the more proof. I cannot only ask, do you have anything else? And if they say no, I have to decide. So you know very well that we like very much, as lawyers, as judges, famous principle of law, burden of proof. So it's so easy to decide without proofs, no matter they are right or not. And very often we have not enough proofs for our decision. And we see that the other side is right, but has no proofs for that. And what we do? We decide against. For example, business dispute. I order some, Arthur orders some merchandise from me as a producer. We made a contract. I sent the merchandise to them. He ordered 1,000 yellow something things. He needs that for his product, as a part of his product. I sent it to him, 900 yellow and 100 blue. And he called me immediately, Srdan, we have made agreement about 1,000 yellow things. Oh yes, it's my mistake. We run out of the yellows and we send to you. But you know that I cannot use blue one. Oh yes, I will send you very soon yellows. But I didn't tell him that I am in a problem, that I have no yellows. And I am begging him to pay me all 1,000, but he don't want to pay me because I didn't send him what we agreed. And it passed 3 or 4 days, and Arthur called me, Srdan, what is with my yellow 100 things? Oh yes, I will send it tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and he's going to piss off and angry on me because I didn't keep to my word. And he started to use bad language and bad words to me. And I become angry. And we are starting to quarrel and to call each other names and stop conversations. And then I am so angry to him that I'm going to hire a lawyer and to sue him. And he don't want to pay me. And we come to the court, and maybe it's not the best example I created right now. Maybe it's better that he said I cannot pay you because, actually yes, it's a good example, I'm sorry. So we come to the court and I'm trying, my claim is that Arthur pay whole 1,000 things. But he said in front of the judge, yes, I ordered it, I received it, but he didn't send me 1,000 yellow, but 100 blue. And the judge said, have you had any complaint? Yes, of course. I called Srdan and we talked about it. He promised me to replace blue for the yellows. And what judge asked, do you have any written complaint? No, I don't have a written complaint. It was oral. And we said, and I said to the judge, he never complained me, never. And what we do? Pay everything. We don't care what was among us and why I didn't send him whole 1,000 yellow, and he cannot explain me why it is important for him to get all 1,000 yellows, and he cannot understand why it is important that objection, complaint should be in a written form. There is a worse. He can get a written form, but not in a right time. You know that. There is a right time to complain. If they miss, there is no right. So we made quite good decision by the law. But Arthur hate us, hate system, hate everything, because he is right. And I won. I beat Arthur. I'm happy because of you, of the system, but I cheat you. And we never be in business together again. And we had a business relation 8 years, and never again. And Arthur will talk bad words about me everywhere. And I will lose a lot because of my stubbornness and my imprisoned in a conflict. So if we can get all facts and proofs, like all puzzles, so second images means that we are trying to solve it, to create the image. If we can have all of them, our verdict could be very truthful and very justified. But we never have that. You know that very much. We always miss many puzzles, many facts, many proofs. But we cannot get them. We have to decide. And because of that, our truth, judicial truth, is the most probable truth. It's not real truth. According to what I have, this is the truth I can give you by the law. But people don't understand what we are doing, why we are doing, why his or her lawyer lied to me, why didn't give me everything they had. Because the lawyer was scared to lose if open everything to me. And in this case, I won, he lost, but actually both of us lost. Too much. And we lost as judges too, because they look at us as real enemies. How it is possible that someone can decide against me if I'm right? Because we never explained them what we are doing, what are our restrictions in doing that, and that we cannot make proper decision without their help and without their openness to it, and with different approach. According this, I would like, so all of these slides you will get very soon, today in English. There are a lot of them. I hope that someday will be translated but English is good for the start. So there are much more of them that I show to you. So, there is definitely a gap, big gap, between what we think about us and what public think about us. And many of our colleagues don't care. You know how many jokes are about lawyers in the world? Very nasty jokes like, what is 100 lawyers on the bottom of the sea? Good start. So, why we stand that anymore? Can we do something? Of course, we cannot change the world, but we can change ourselves and step by step making improvements. So, what do you think? What kind of problem we are solving in our courtrooms? What we offer them to solve what?
A legal problem?
Yes, exactly. So, actually, I needed to ask you what they need. They need, and they ask us, please help me solve my life or a business problem. And we are offering them solving a legal problem. Why? Because their problem from the business and from the life, lawyer, attorney, translate to the legal problem and create to the legal position. And it's their claim, and there is counterclaim. And they are thinking only in legalistic way. And the real life and business problem is lost forever. But we can do much more to bring back the real problem in front of us or in front of mediator. And because of this, there is kind of civilizational misunderstanding between us and between the people. They are trying to come to us, and they are waiting for the opportunity to come in front of the judge. But they cannot get that chance, because lawyers usually say to the parties, don't come to the court. And you are happy that they are not coming, lawyers are happy, but they are not happy. They are live in a dark. Do you think that the lawyers used to explain every time them what is happening? No. But when we come to the business people are not one persons. They are more and more sophisticated. They know what they want. And they are the only entities so far who can act or their lawyers. And you will see pretty soon, when it is company private, it's a huge interest of controlling or keeping control of what my lawyer or judge is doing. And of course, it is not possible for you to do anything if you have just lawyers in the courtroom. They know very little about the case. But you have the power to order them or to order the decision makers, managers, to come in front of you. Without them, you cannot help them. So probably it's not possible in every case, because there are many cases where one company don't want to pay to the other. Mediation and negotiation is not possible where the one side is not in a good faith. Forget your efforts to conciliate or to negotiate them. But if they had 8 years of good business relation and something happened like between me and Arthur, it's a good signal for do something different. And invite them in the courtroom. And you will decide when, at what point, and you know that you can do it. So, what else to explain what Arthur said to us and put that in the courtroom? Two things, please. You know, all of us are unique, different beings. All of us have some values and some knowledge which is better than all others have. And we usually do not see the other people as rich personalities and with much behind what we see. So we are not just judges. We are much more than judges. And if we will have a time here to discuss about what we are doing, what we like to do in our lives, about our hobbies, children, pets, you will see how rich is each of us. And some describe any of us like circles. From the center of me, I, then our values, our experience, our needs, and our environment. This is our life values with which we live, with which we work, talk, communicate, and we defend it very much. We don't like that anybody interfere in us. The problem is we don't think enough that everybody else have own value system. Everybody. And the other people like and try to defend and to protect that. And the problem becomes when two value systems collide. And we are doing that all the time. At streets, in traffic, in the corridors, in our courtrooms, at home, everywhere. And that's actually the zone of the conflict, when two value systems collide. I see one thing on this way, you see on this way, and we are not trying to find middle solution, but we are trying to compete and to make a victory. We are right, you are wrong. And that sense is of I'm wrong, you are. I'm right, you are wrong. It's the main source of every conflict. All of us can have different views of anything, and we have right to have a different opinion. We have even right to be wrong. But the way of my trying to convince you that I'm only me right, it's totally unproductive. And we are doing that all the time, and I have lost half of my life doing that, especially as a lawyer. We are trained to prove that we are right. So, when we are talking to the other people, and when we explain our opinion, and if I explain that to the Arthur, and he said, okay, Srdan, I heard you, I understand you, but I don't agree with you. What I'm thinking at that moment, maybe I was not clear enough. I have to repeat it to the Arthur, because he had to accept my opinion. So I use more arguments. I use long arguments, trying to convince him. And after I finished, Arthur said, Srdan, I have heard you again. I understood you again, but I don't agree. Now, what we are thinking, Arthur is maybe not enough clever, intelligent. Maybe he cannot understand me. Now, I am trying again with the higher voice to explain him why I'm right. And it's the beginning of the conflict. And Arthur, for the third time, said, Srdan, I heard you again, and I haven't understood you again. I don't agree. Now, what I think, Arthur has something against to me. He is maybe my enemy. And it's beginning of the big fight. So, neurologists explained us that there is no difference in our reaction between our reaction in the woods when we find the bear who is trying to attack us, between the situation in regular life when somebody says, I don't agree with you. Can you imagine that? Whenever someone said to us, I don't agree, it means a signal. I am under the attack. Whole my value system is under the attack, and I have automatic reaction trying to defend myself and then to counterattack. So, this is a very simple and short way of what is going on in a conflict. And there are much more. But can you imagine what is going on in a conflict when they come to us? They are not alone anymore. They have many people from each side, lawyers, supporters, families, companies, personnel. On the other side, the same. And there are 20, 50 persons on one side. You cannot see them in the courtroom, but they feel good. They are together and they are going toward victory. They feel good as a team, you know. In every pre-war situation, people have feeling of togetherness and like in a team who is fighting in a sport. They feel good together. They are fighting shoulder to shoulder. Let's go. And in every conflict, our brain feel that we are more right than we really are. It's an imperfection of our minds. And of course, when they come to us, it is the total escalation of that kind of conflict. It's the highest level. And they start to fight. And we are thinking, what a stupid people, what they are doing to each other. What can I do with them? What we can do? We can apply rules. But it's not enough anymore. It's easy to apply rules. So, try to think about any conflict. You will see that in a PowerPoint when you get it. Any conflict could be described as an iceberg. You know, iceberg, only eighth part of the iceberg is visible above the surface of the sea or ocean. And we call it, especially when they come to the court, we call it dispute, not a conflict. Dispute is a legal version of the conflict, and the only small visible part. What we see in our courtroom, we see legal positions, we see tone of the voice, we see inappropriate words, we have red faces, we have sad faces, frustrated faces, and we see difficulties. We see difficult and problematic people. They express their conflicts in the wrong way. They try to beat each other, to conquer each other. And we are, in the courtroom, we are dealing just with a dispute. So, what we ask, have you made a contract, oral or written? Have you ordered the merchandise? When you get the merchandise, or did you get? Who did it? Have you complained? Have you complained in written form? And can you complain on time? That is all what is legally relevant. And we are done. But, excuse me, Judge SIMAC, I have to say you something more. I don't need this. But please, give me a chance. I didn't ask you anything. Because we are finished. Lawyers can come right now to ask. And they ask something, again, legalistically. But no one asked them about their emotions, how Arthur and me did feel, and what really happened among us. What did he say to me, what I did say to him, and why it is not important for me to have a written form of complaint. Because we did the same thing last 7 years. We were friends. And now, after one angry reactions to each other, we hired soldiers to fight instead of us. And please go to the court. I don't want to go there. Fight for me and show to Srdan that I'm right. And can you imagine, even in mediations, very often both parties come to mediation and say, I'm right. And I'm going to win in court. And I said, have you heard each other right now? Both of you have said that you are going to win. Is it possible? Yes, but we are going to win. So I always say to everybody, if you have decided to go to the litigation, prepare yourself well To what? To lose. No one wants to lose. No one think about it. But believe me, they started to think more and more, and especially business people. So, I will tell you now what I can do. It's just one of the many possible ways of dealing with the parties. How we can address to something under the surface of the sea. You know, you have heard definitely about new approach of doctors. Healing, it cannot be enough if you heal just the body. You have healed a body and the mind together. So we cannot help them if we deal just with dispute and if we put away from us conflict. And this and this kind of difficult behavior we hate. We don't feel comfort in our courtrooms when something of this appear. And what we do at that time, we try to avoid or to, how to say, congest, to kill. There will be no conflict in my courtroom. But they are in a war, and we are telling them, nobody will shout in my room. So, in mediation, we are dealing with the dispute, and we are dealing with the whole conflict. We are dealing with what we see, and with what we don't see. And that's the secret of mediation. The question is, should we start as a judges to deal with anything else than with the legal relevancy? It depends of each of us. So, I told you yesterday that there is a need to change our behavior in the courtroom, which no one can stand anymore. So, I'm going to tell you some examples on how you can do it, and some of them, you can expect that some of them will be strange for you, but then we can comment about this. So there are few stages, or you can decide how far you can go with this. So we said that the regular person who doesn't know anything about the law, they have a big problem. They come to the court. In advance, they believe in a court. In advance, they believe in us. They are scared. They don't understand too much. They don't want to expect. They feel they are right because they are in a conflict, and everybody in conflict feels that he or she is right and that the other side is wrong. Like Arthur make a drawing about this. It's so hard to all of us to admit that we contributed to the conflict. And it's not possible in the courtroom that I say, oh yes, I contributed to this. No, I didn't anything wrong. He is responsible. So, first example, the most gentle and most lowest approach in changing of our behavior. So, people went through the whole building, detector, police, corridors, come wait in front of our room and wait for our call. Our secretary coming out, or you use microphones or something, and they were calling inside. They come in it, and in the courtroom everybody is serious, no sign of humanity. We are on the upper place with our bench, and we have robes. Robes? You know, what does it mean, robes? Robes means I'm a different, I'm a distant, I am a better. I'm better than you. I have a power over you. I don't think that we need anymore to convince anybody as the judges that we have a power. We have a huge power. With robe, without robe, without serious face, with the serious face, with all ritual or without. And they are coming inside and nobody addressed anything to the person. And they are scared even more. And we started, and the lawyers started to say something about claim and counterclaim and a lot of objections with the Latin words and nobody asking anything to the parties. And we postponed everything for 3 months. And he said, they asked their lawyers, what happened? Everything was fine, everything is going well, 3 months, next hearings is beautiful, don't worry, I am leading the case for you, trust me. Put yourself in their position, please, just for the moment. They don't like their lawyers with such behavior. They obey. They don't know other way. They trust in authorities. And lawyer knows the law. And so, what if we do something like this? You are at your bench with robe, and the parties come inside. And you say, good morning, Mr. Arthur, Mr. Trossen. How did you travel? Oh yes, my travel was nice. I came from Craiova, and the way was good. There was no ice, there was no rain. Thank you for asking. Okay. And did you find the parking place? I know that it's very hard to find a parking place around our court. Oh yes, just one man went out and we find the place. Please sit down. This is your place. We invited both of you today because you are very important for us. Without you, we cannot do anything. And what you think and what you have to say to us, it's very important. And just one more thing, and you can stop there. I can tell you that this is a very strict and formal procedure. And what we try to find here is everything what is legally relevant. So please do not be surprised when you tell something what is not legally relevant. I am going to stop you. Don't be surprised. Is okay? Understand? Yes? Do you have any more questions before we start? No? Go. So, what do you think? How far is this from the way you can do things? And what do you think? If I can, or if you lose, any part of your judge authority with this approach. No? Is it true that will be kind of strange for the beginning? People don't expect such a behavior. Parties don't expect to. But believe me, we shouldn't care what lawyers expect. We should care what parties expect. And believe me, the most lawyers like the same. There are only few who think that with aggressive or impolite behavior can make some progress in their cases. They are totally counterproductive for them and for their parties. Okay, so possible next step. So when you get everything what is legally relevant, and when you give the lawyers their turn to ask to collect everything what is legally relevant, we can say something like this. Okay, now we have collected everything what is legally relevant to make a decision. And then you are addressed to the party. But now it is the right time that you can tell us something what you think it is important for you, but we didn't ask you. Would I lose any of my authority as a judge after that? Can you do that?
I did that.
You?
Yes.
Yes.
But you know, in Romania we don't have individual hearings. It's public hearings. Almost all the parties come in the courtroom and assist to the individual cases when is called. There are not individual hearings.
There are nothing reviewing hearings.
Individual.
There is no individual hearings. What does it mean?
I told you, all the parties that have the case in a day at me, as a judge, come inside the courtroom and assist.
You never see only one party. You see both parties at the same time. You cannot ask only one party without the other party being present.
Yes, I didn't think that we should do separately. Everybody is here.
If it's a secret session, there will be only the parties, the lawyers, and I think one or two persons, then they can choose to come in.
Yes, I agree.
In the rest of the cases, the hearings are public and all the parties come inside.
Of course, it's everywhere like that. Yes, I understand. So, this is what I said to you. You are going to do it with everyone present. No separate meetings. So, you need to repeat this with one party and another party. And both are present at the same moment. If they, or except they don't want to come here, of course.
Colega spunea că nu că ambele părți sunt prezente acolo, toate părțile care au un dosar în acea zi. Sunt 100 de oameni în sală.
Yes.
Nu așteaptă pe hol, sunt în sala de judecată și sunt toți prezenți care au, să zicem, 50 de dosare pe listă, vin toți și stau în bănci. Deci nu era vorba doar de cele două părți, ci de ceilalți.
Plus the witnesses, yes.
Din alte dosare.
You have 50 people, for 50 cases they are
At
waiting
least.
for the room.
At least.
Same room.
Yeah.
Do you have time for all of them or no?
So they are not waiting in the corridors.
No. No, they are all inside.
Majority inside.
Okay.
Și sunt
Okay,
litigii,
It is harder for you.
mă scuzați, sunt litigii cu obiecte diferite. Putem să judecăm în aceeași ședință 50 de dosare, din care unele sunt litigi între vecini, altele sunt pretenții, altele sunt modificarea unor acte de stare civile, de exemplu, obiecte total diferite
Tax
care se
issues.
încadrează în materia dreptului civil. Și toți acei oameni sunt citați pentru ora 9 dimineața. La un moment dat, suspendăm ședința și reluăm de unde am rămas. Putem să terminăm și seara.
So you call them everyone to
Yeah.
the same time.
Exactly. We can also.
Nu putem estima,
Why do you do that?
pentru
Because
că
that's
nu putem
that is the
estima,
rule.
Why
Those
do
are
you
the
do that?
rules.
nu
We
putem
can fix
estima
hours for
durata,
some of
nu
them.
putem estima durata unui proces, a unui dosar. Nu le luăm în aceeași ordine întotdeauna pentru că nu vin avocații sau părțile și le reluăm ulterior la ceea ce se numește a doua strigare.
Okay, you don't know. It's not right answer. Please don't be offended. You know what you can expect. But if you have 50 or 60 cases per day, you cannot do nothing. Is it true? Forget it. Forget this.
We have to hope to get.
But you can change. You can invite 20 instead of 60 that day.
That would mean that the first hearing in a case should be in 3-4 months, and we can do that. We have at maximum 60 days.
How many of cases do you have per each of you at the same it whole?
That depends.
In one Monday.
That
Per
depends.
week, 100 per week. We have one term each week where we assign cases, 50 cases, 100 cases. It depends on the instance, how many cases there are at that institution.
How many cases you have in your docket?
That depends.
200 maybe.
We can't,
200.
We can't control that. It's an automatic system.
300.
Certain moment.
They have terms assigned, 50 next week, 50 2 weeks from now, and so on.
Over the year is how much?
In a year maybe 1,000.
1,000. Okay.
And
May I just?
and except the case
So
that
to give you an impression, so this practice has been used in Germany as well. So the judge invited all the parties at 8 o'clock in the morning, and who could run quicker was the first, and the other had to wait. So the situation is well known to me. A German judge in civil cases has to manage 1,300 cases a year. So I just said you have thousands, so the workload of a German judge would even be higher. So they changed the behavior after the lawyers complained and parties complained. They have to wait too long time, and then even the situation was, the case was the case started. Parties have been sitting in the audience, and they didn't see that the case has been running. And afterwards they asked, when do you start my case? And the judge said, we had it at 9 o'clock. That were real situations in Germany. So parties complained, lawyers complained, and now the judges changed their behavior, and they started to have those cases where they knew I need more time. They made the date in the afternoon, or they tried to consider the situation somehow. So you have cases which you can solve very quickly, and others which need more time. And if you have a feeling for that, I can recommend to make dates for those cases which need more time where you have time and where you can manage the problems. Otherwise, I agree
We
to...
don't have courtrooms, enough
Mă
courtrooms.
scuzați, dar din punct de vedere logistic, acest lucru nu este posibil pentru că suntem 40 de judecători în civil și 50 săli de judecată. În fiecare zi, fiecare coleg are ședință în aceea sală. Sala mea nu este doar sala mea, este sala mea miercurea din 2 în 2 săptămâni.
Okay, so
Morning
you
session
don't have the
after-
rooms for this strategy. So maybe I give you a hint now. I think one of the reasons why we are here is because EU, and I have been doing many projects for EU, and always the reason was backlogs of justice, to reduce backlogs of justice. So you have a bit of political power to say we want to do that, but it's not possible under the conditions where we are working. So it's a political issue, and maybe at the moment you have strong arguments because of the backlogs.
It has been reported many times.
But
It has been reported many times. They ignored us. And still, yeah, there are complaints for the lawyers even today.
So I can just imagine how do you feel.
Yeah, like in an airport or a railway station.
Yes. So only what I can say. You know, there was the times, and maybe even today, when you come to the public doctor, public hospital, and there were 80 people there, and you are waiting and waiting and waiting.
Exactly the same.
So I remember old Croatian judges, they call all parties at 8 in the morning. And then when he or she finished with one case, he go out and said, next would be the two among you who are settled the case, who already settled, because they left them out to talk and to make a settlement. But with this practice, we didn't know that. The first group didn't say us. So I had at some point as a judge of a municipal court 1,200 cases. But I make them alive, only 300 of them, because otherwise it's not possible to work. Actually, you have to put them all in action, and actually in any of them you don't work at all.
Ele sunt în etape diferite. Unele sunt în etapa scrisă, după aceea unele ajung pe ședințe, deci fiecare se află în diverse stadii. Cam, să zicem, jumătate sunt deja pe ședințe de judecată, altele jumătate sunt în procedura scrisă.
And please, just to understand a little bit more, please. How many cases you have in your room? How cases you have, how to say?
In public hearings?
No, at this moment, how many cases in total you have?
Puteți intra.
Există un așa numit stoc, cum îl denumim noi.
Stock.
În sensul că sunt dosare în diverse stadii. Unele ne intră și atunci începem să ne ocupăm de ele, altele se soluționează și le motivăm. La final de an, statistic, se realizează stocul fiecărui judecător, iar media pe judecător este în jur de 1000 de dosare pe an rulate, 1000 și ceva, rulate în această perioadă. Eu anul trecut am pronunțat 1000 de hotărâri.
We had even more.
1,000 rulings.
Yes.
We had.
On my, for me, 100 cases, but it's a especially happy situation. There are colleagues with 400, maybe 300.
That depends for court to court, for town to town.
So you can get the big courtroom only once a week? Or
Or once in 2 weeks.
once or two times once in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
How big is your offices?
That depends.
It's
Four,
o altă
4
problemă.
square meters, 5 square meters.
Suntem 2, 3, 4 sau 5 judecători în același birou.
3, 4, 5.
În același birou, fiecare judecător colaborează cu grefierul lui, care vine, e un du-te vino continuu de multe ori. Unii vin, alții pleacă.
We had even 10 judges in the same room.
Because
Five or six
our
judges.
colleagues work any other things in that moment and we cannot disturb.
Don't you have single offices?
No, that only the president of the court has.
Doar președinții au birouri individuale.
Yeah, only the president of the court.
Okay. What we see
Use the
is
president's office.
what we see is, as a judge, you must be very creative.
Yes. Yes, please.
Puteți intra, vă rog, pe portalul instanței, alegeți instanța, de exemplu, instanța mea de la Judecătoria Focșani. Și puteți vedea luni ce dosare am, în câte completuri, câte amânări de pronunțare am pentru luni și marți, pentru că nu mă mai încadrez să le fac față. Am amânat 22, parcă, vineri acum, când merg la serviciu, trebuie să merg noaptea să-mi fac pronunțările, dacă nu le-am reușit să le fac între timp. Am amânări de pronunțare luni și marți, am ședință, dar puteți intra pe portal și le vedeți clar pe ședință. Le vedeți pe viu, nu vorbe. Plus că în paralel, pe lângă ședință publică, avem cameră de consiliu și procedură prealabilă, la care lucrăm în paralel cu același grefier. Grefierii, dacă nu mai pot lucra, se plâng la conducere, li se asigură un alt grefier de ajutor, dar judecătorul nu contează. Judecătorul trebuie să dispună.
So, what can we do?
It's not important when you finish the session. You have to make the decision until midnight.
Until
and
midnight.
Get them into the system. And there is not important if you solve the case or just adjourn the solution. All that has to be made in the system until midnight.
It's kind of factory.
Yeah.
Or in fairy tale.
That's those are the new rules.
So, it seems today that we have discussed nicely about mediation, but in your condition,
It's an illusion.
There's only external mediation.
so we didn't come to the, maybe I can say you later, to the point when you are going to refer the case and how to mediation. But you don't have time to do it. Everybody is around, everybody is anxious, everybody waiting for their time, and
Now, I know too less about your system. So I'm a chair of an association, and if it helps you, so in Germany associations are very strong, and if we have an opinion, we can say to the parliament or to the ministry, this is needed, and so we have an expertise, and so this has a weight. If I can help you somehow this way, please tell us. So I think you have to change the system. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, maybe it helps to have an expertise from abroad.
So you don't know what is the luxury of having your own office and courtroom.
Yeah.
Only if my colleagues don't come to the office. Then I say it's all my office.
You should hire a hotel room. I said you should hire a hotel room and send the invoice to the ministry.
have the office for me, for myself, only in the weekends when I go to work and my colleague doesn't come to work. Then I have this luxury.
Maybe you can call your parties during the weekend.
It is not space.
I don't know. What is coming on my mind? Is there any among you, even in this conditions, who have much court settlements? You know, there are always judges in any court who are kind of capable, without any mediation skills, of making many settlements in their courtrooms. Are there any in such a conditions?
In some cases,
In some cases.
yeah, but not relevant. Few of them.
De exemplu, eu le zic că le soluționez cauza cu prioritate, dacă se împacă.
That's manipulation.
Și eu iau înaintea tuturor. Dacă se împacă, le...
Just say that. If you don't settle, I am going to.
No, if settle, I'll take you faster.
Aha. Yes, that's like old.
No, I still know some tricks. So if you see the mediation, as I described it, it is possible to give a written advice to the parties and to steer already the process into the right direction. Now it depends on if that is allowed to you. I know different countries where the judge is not allowed to give any hints to the parties. In Germany, he is obliged to do that. So I am obliged to say the parties, you are on the wrong way. The right decision is around here or there. So we can give advice to the parties, and of course the steers thinking and behaving in the right direction. And after a while I started to give advice also in conflict affairs, and it helped tremendously to give the right direction and to make the case small. It's like, as a judge, I give feedback to the parties. No, I don't do it in a hearing, I do it in a written form. So if that is possible, that can be helpful for you, if you're allowed to do that. No. So this really is a challenge. You have no own offices, hearing room is occupied all the time. You cannot give written advice. So what are the options now?
Keep going. And
What?
keep going, you hope to resist.
Now you have to force parties to settlements. So, for example, if you do not settle the case, I will never make a sentence.
You can say that because there is a
No, it's not
claim
legal,
to the
but it works.
inspection.
It's not legal, but it works.
Cred că opțiunea este să-i convingem să meargă la mediatori. Și atunci poate am... Da.
Yeah.
Cred că asta nu știu dacă putem să facem noi în concret medierea în sala de judecată, pentru că nu avem cum. Nu avem, din punct de vedere logistic, cum să o facem, dar cred că putem să le facem cunoscute avantajele medierii și să-i convingem să meargă la un mediator.
No, I think informing is not enough. You must to steer thinking in the direction of mediation. That's what I want to tell you. Just to say there is an option of mediation, I don't think this works. You must make mediation necessary. And as a judge, you can help very much to make mediation necessary. You just need to say, you will not be the winner in my court, nobody of you. And in this moment, people start to find another way to win their case.
It used to be necessary, but the Constitutional Court said that that's not for our society. It used to be era obligatorie. Mandatory, yeah. But no more.
Dacă sunteți de acord să facem o precizare ca să nu cred colegii din străinătate că totuși este atât de... Există aceste dificultăți, dar mi se pare că nu este totuși o imposibilitate absolută. Cred că fiecare dintre noi totuși are și dosare în care fixează o oră și avem și
Dar
dosare...
am spus mai devreme că avem posibilitatea să fixăm și ore.
Deci,
problema e că
este
nu întotdeauna
foarte greu,
poți să le respecti. Că nu știi
dar-
cât durează dezbaterile într-un anumit caz.
Da, când fixăm oră, de fapt, e ceva de genul nu înainte de ora aia.
Și eu, spre exemplu, aș intra la 12:30, intru la 12:30 în cel mai bun caz. În rest, intru pe la 1-2.
Da, ce
Dacă nu
vreau-
am fixat oră 2.
Ce
Sunt
vreau
cei
să
care așteaptă la 12:30.
spun este că deși ne este foarte greu, să zicem, să rămânem singuri doar cu un dosar și cu părțile din acest dosar, totuși, făcând niște eforturi și niște artificii, putem ajunge în situația aceea și atunci mi se par totuși utile dacă ni se prezintă anumite tehnici de
Asta cu siguranță.
discuții cu părțile.
Există posibilitatea legală în procedura scrisă, atunci când părțile îți depun tranzacție de la început și atunci se fixează imediat termen de judecată sau pot chiar în Camera de Consiliu să solicite să se acte acea tranzacție. Depinde de zone, de instanțe, de... Deci mă bucur atât de mult când văd o tranzacție.
Yes.
Ar fi util să ne spuneți câte dosare aveți dumneavoastră ca judecător într-o săptămână și cum s-a ajuns la această soluție, întrucât la noi în România nu există, să-i spunem așa, o normare a muncii. Pot intra într-o săptămână oricâte dosare și toate se repartizează. Cum se face la dumneavoastră această limitare? Adică s-a făcut la nivel legislativ o ordine în acest sens, că un judecător poate doar atâtea dosare să judece?
Of course, we are in different positions. Even when we are overloaded, we have own courtrooms, and we have our hearings not for everybody, and we have a strict time frame order, and we predict the time for every case, and it is so rude from the point of the people that we invite somebody in advance, and they are very not happy if we are late, you know. So even when I had 1,200 cases, I had the most 10 to 15 a day. But if I have a case with the witnesses, with the expert witnesses, it could have 2 or even 1 a day. Yeah. So. So what you are doing? Next, next, next. And there is no, actually, there is only few parties there, just lawyers. So I would like just to tell you my approach of how I can do it, or how I do it, or you can do it when the right time comes. So you will see, this is not true that every case and every party is appropriate for mediation. It is not. The first, they need to be in a good faith, in relatively good relation, despite of the fact they are at the court. So this is the examples of the cases which is very appropriate, beside the business cases, which is almost always appropriate, but it is not if one side doesn't want to pay. It's not for mediation. But you know, if we are decide as a judges, among friends, among neighbors, among family members, among owners, co-owners, co-authors, we ruin their relationship forever. In Croatia, we used to say that it's better for the neighbor who lives at the same floor of the building to move to the other place than to lose litigation. Just to finish, if you see two neighbors who have to live together even after your decision will be very catastrophic for them.
Noi avem o vorbă, mai decât o judecată strâmbă, mai bine o înțelegere dreaptă.
So, if we have a business dispute, and if you find enough time to deal with it, and if you apply a different behavior from the time they enter to the room or in front of you, they will be more relaxed. They will be more fearful. They are going to see you much more human, and they will be maybe ready to talk much more than expected. And you are experienced judges, and you know that you are very capable to detect the signals on each side when they are probably think about settlement. But even without that, if you have a business dispute with the two companies which had 8 years very good business relationship, like my case I told you yesterday, after 8 years they come to the mediation. After half an hour of mediation, they told me they didn't talk for 8 years. And after 4.5 hours of mediation, they made settlement. And not just the settlement, but the new contract of future cooperation. Can you imagine that? And they were so happy with them, two directors. They were so happy with their lawyers who helped them do that. And they were so happy with me as a judge mediator. And they have so happy with the court and with the system. Can you imagine, after 8 years of not talking, separated totally within 4.5 hours, just because of different approach outside of the courtroom, without the judge, they made agreement. And so, try something like this when it will be appropriate. You can say something like this. I have collected everything what I need to decide. And before I do that, I would like you to ask you one small, or something like Arthur used. I am wondering how can I help you more than just with my decision. And of course, at that moment, lawyers will become furious or frustrated or confused. But then that is the time that you can explain that. And the way how you are going to do it is crucial, including this different approach before, because you cannot become friendly at some point. You should be not friendly but polite and gentle from the beginning. And then you can say to them, and some of your colleagues, or maybe you already use that. You know, I would like to tell you how I see you. We were together in this court last few months, or 1-2 years. I know much more right now about you, about your case than before. I'm ready to decide by the law. But believe me, if I decide, it will be disaster for you. Why? Why? Because you were in a good business relationship 8 years. You were godfathers to your children. You made a good business, good relationship, you traveled together, and this conflict has happened. And see where are you right now. What do you think? Is it really possible that you can put aside for a while me, the law, and go with your lawyers and with you to talk in a different environment with a different person who is not a judge and who is not deciding about your destiny? I assure you that the best solution for you is the one you create by yourself. And maybe it looks for you that it's too late, but it's not too late until I decide. And then you can explain what does it mean mediation, and what they can achieve in mediation, and very, very quick, if they choose a proper behavior. This can be kind of changing of the game, like Arthur said. You temporarily go out of your former role, show more humanity than in regular settings, and try to talk like people with the big problems who had good relation, but now they are temporarily in a big conflict, which is very solvable, but with a different approach. And I will be here for you if you don't succeed. But believe me, there is a good chances that you can do it by yourself, and that you will be happy with you and with your lawyers, and then with me. What do you think about this? Is it too much for you? Is it too much? Or we can...
It might not be too much for us, but we could get the reply that there will be more money spent for them. They have already invested in the case.
Can you repeat me, please, that, please?
I said it might not be too tough for us to tell them that, but they might reply that sending them to the mediator implies more money spent. Yeah. Than they have already spent in the case.
Okay, I understand that will be always complaint. Maybe this is the very last stage to do this, but maybe you can do this before they didn't spend too much money on litigation, in some earlier stage, and then you can say, you know how long this will be, you know how much it costs you already, and there will be much more. And you see that you cannot control the outcome. I'm controlling it. And believe me, I have my own views on your merits and case, and I'm almost sure that you will be not happy with my decision. And then you are going to blame me. You are the ones who needs to become responsible for your own dispute. This is your life, your business, your destiny. I know that you think you have to come to me, but now I'm talking to you that there is another solution. And if you pay something which is not too much, maybe you solve big problem within one day or within a few days. Otherwise, we are going to seeing each other many days, and you are going to wait a long time until the final decision. And the final decision will be the end of your business relationship. Something like that. It's a time for lunch, but you can ask.
Ieri v-am spus că am făcut lucrul acesta într-un dosar foarte complicat, cu un contract de închiriere spații comerciale într-un mall. Nu mai știa nimeni ce a închiriat societatea. Erau planuri suprapuse. Experții nu se descurcau. Deci nimeni nu se mai descurca și le-am spus lucrul acesta. Dumneavoastră știți mai bine ce ați contractat, știți ce ați făcut, eu nu înțeleg, nici experții nu înțeleg, nu o să vă placă soluția mea, deci soluția e la dumneavoastră. Mi-au cerut termen și au venit cu tranzacție.
Și luăm cu prioritate, nu?
Și am luat cu prioritate.
But you did what you can, what you could, so it's their decision to continue. So be ready to not be happy with my decision. It's your decision. It's my job and I'm going to do it. But I'm warning you, but it's your case, your responsibility, so let's do it with my decision. Okay, but don't quit with doing that because once, 2, 10 times is not worked. You are going to find those parties who will be for that and who will be happy for that. And then there will be more on them, and then more on them. And you need to change your working conditions. I know that you don't do it by yourself. Thank you very much. It's a lunchtime, 1 hour.